Liam, the Deaf to Metalhead, and this time I'm doing a vinyl update finally. I've been meaning to do this for absolutely ages and I've never got around to it. So I've got 8 records to show of really nasty extreme metal, and some of it is actually quite accessible to people that aren't even into Death and Doom and that kind of thing. So thanks for tuning in. Yeah, so I've been buying loads recently. Like, I've had a bit of a tape splurge recently, so I've got really into my cassettes, because there's loads and loads of EPs from last year and this year already that I've been wanting for quite a while. And now I have the tape deck up there, you know, I'm all in. But I'm still buying obviously LPs and CDs, but the tapes are kind of, because it's a cheaper option, that's been my focal point at the moment. But these LPs have built up over the last maybe month, 2 months, and yeah, I thought I'd share them. So the first one is one that was actually meant to be for my birthday back in February for my wife. It took ages to get here apparently, and it arrived a good couple of weeks ago now. And that is the last album from Bolt Thrower. This is obviously a repress from the legendary album, which I couldn't tell you when it originally came out, maybe 2011, around that period. This is the last album they ever did before their drummer sadly passed away, and you know, they've done nothing since then, and rightfully so. You know, keep the legacy intact. Great band though. This has been repressed hundreds of times on many different formats by Metal Blade. So this one is the latest, and I believe it comes in like a desert sand kind of variant. Kind of looks like that, which is really cool. It came with a giant poster, which I put on the door back there because I try and keep my man cave looking like I had my bedroom when I was a teenager, just literally posters everywhere. So it was really cool to have a giant poster. Excuse me. So if you're not aware of Bolt Thrower, 90s British death metal band. Early stuff is a bit more grindcore, and then it kind of progressed as the years went by. Kind of had their own style, sound, and there's bazillion death metal bands that sound like these guys. And rightfully so, they're a fucking amazing band. So Bolt Thrower. Now, next one, many of you might not be aware of this band. They are a German epic doom band. Traditional metal with doom elements in it, but I class it as epic doom. It's essentially what it is to me. And that is the band Dawn of Winter. This is their last album they've done recently, Pray for Doom, which came out back in either 2018 or 2019. I want to say 2018, but this says 2019, so this could be a repress. I'm not 100% sure. Came out through I Hate Records, and yeah, these guys are awesome. So I first heard this band many years ago when I was a teenager, when I was going through like a massive Candlemass phase, and this is essentially what these guys are in the vein of Candlemass, Solitude Eternus. Very epic, very drawn out doom. But their older albums were kind of a bit of a miss for me. They weren't, on the production side of it, weren't really grabbing me. They sounded more like traditional kind of 70s style metal. But this album is really thick, really heavy. The production on it is crisp and clear. Really massive sounding guitars, bass, and yeah, it's a really good epic doom band. So the singer there, where is he? Garrett there. He has a very unique voice. To many people, I imagine, might put them off the band because it is very different. It's not something you'd instantly get drawn to. It's kind of like King Diamond. When you first hear that, you'd be like, whoa, what the hell is that? But you know, for me, it sounds awesome, and it makes the band stand out loads. The guitar riffs aren't overly complicated, but it's the harmonies, the way he sings with the riffs, that make the songs really memorable. And tracks like Pray for Doom, A Dream Within a Dream, you know, they're very catchy songs. And yeah, I found this quite cheap, and I jumped on it because I've been after this for many years, since it came out. And many years, I mean, I don't know how many years, it's not been that long, but yeah, anyway, shut up. Came on black wax. Inlay is just that with the lyrics on it on both sides there. But yeah, if you're into your German doom, these guys you should probably already be aware of. Really cool band, and yeah, love them to bits. So that is Dawn of Winter. Next one is American doom, but more in the kind of traditional stonery kind of sound, but not in that. Well, I wouldn't say it's stoner doom to me, otherwise I wouldn't have bought it. It's not really my thing, but it is much. It's in that vein. This is formed around two original members of the band Winter, who are what many people class as the starting point for the genre of death doom. But this album has got no death metal vocals on it whatsoever. It's all female fronted. And yeah, it's just really cool. I'll show you the band. So this is Goden. This came out last year through Svart Records. So it feels like an Argos catalogue. It's absolutely massive. And Svart Records always put out these ridiculously thick gatefolds when they do their represses a lot. But this is over an hour's worth of music. And it's a concept album based off something. I've got no idea what it's about. Bit trippy. That's the gatefold there with the artwork. But if you're into thick, heavy stoner doom, the riffs aren't overly complicated. It's very ploddy. It's very thick. It sounds massive when you put it through big speakers. And yeah, it's got female fronted vocals, like I say. But the original guitar player for Winter and I believe the keyboardist are the songwriters of this band. And then they've got obviously hired hands for the rest of it. Comes with this mini book, as it were, like, you know, with all the lyrics in there, some artwork, you know, absolutely over the top, but for a collector's point of view it's really, really nice. There's some pictures there. Really, really cool album. I've given this a couple of spins. It's one of the ones you have to have on in the background. You can't just tune into one track and just, you know, pick it up straight away. I can't for the life of me think. I think it's him there, Prophet of Goden there. And then you've got, yeah, it's just shitloads of lyrics. It's an hour's worth of music. It also comes on this clear, I believe it's clear vinyl by memory. Let's move that over there. Like that. But yeah, I mean, this dropped in price massively on Amazon. That is the only real reason I bought it. It's been on my want list since it came out, but it's never been one of those albums I'm desperate to buy. It's just kind of like, you know, if I have the funds, I'll pick it up. Just for more the link to Winter, really, than anything else, because I'm a big fan of Winter. They only ever put out one album, but it's a great album. But yeah, Goden. Go check them out if you're into heavy doom, because that is essentially what it is. No death metal, nothing like that, just heavy, heavy doom. Next one is another one that I was after from last year. It's came out in 2020 and is probably the most accessible black metal album you'll ever hear in your life. The band is called Inair. I probably butchered that, but you know me. And this is their album Moonlit Navigation. This, I mean, I was really gutted I didn't pick this up last year. I tried to, but the price from America was insane at the time, and I just didn't want to pay that kind of money. But I found this on Amazon, and it just dropped in price. Like, I use an app to kind of monitor it, and it dropped so much. I was just like, I'll buy it. You know, no brainer. And it came on, and this is a limited pressing as well. I'll show you in a sec. But this came out through, I don't even know what label it is. Gilead Media, which I'm assuming is American. They're an American band, but this music-wise is black metal, but it's very melodic, very crisp and clear, and the lead work on it is amazing. The guitar work on this is phenomenal. That'll be the main selling point for this album. I could tell you, is the guitar work is phenomenal. It also reminds me a little bit, and many people might understand this, or they think I'm fucking lost in my mind, but it sounds like, if you know the guitar player Eric Johnson and the track Cliffs of Dover, and that guitar harmony sound he has and the style and the tone, the lead work is very reminiscent of that and that kind of style of music. It sounds like Eric Johnson's playing guitar on this album. It's an incredible album. It's just so accessible. So if you're trying to get into black metal, this band will probably be the one you could say, I like black metal, but they're not. I wouldn't really class these guys as black metal. Came on this kind of sky blue swirl press, which was even more a reason to buy. I didn't know it was going to come like this. I kind of just paid for it on Amazon, assuming it'd be black wax, and it was actually the variant I wanted from the start when I first saw this when it came out. And yeah, really, really good album. Spun this loads. It's very accessible. You can pick any track and you can get straight into this album. It's not one of those albums where you have to kind of listen to start to finish. You can dip and dive quite happily with this, and it's very, very catchy. So if you're a fan of black metal, I'm fairly confident you'll like it. If you're new to the genre and you want to try and get into it, this band will be your gateway drug. Really, really good album. I can't recommend it. So you could also class this as melodic death metal, really, But they have the black metal was definitely in there. So yeah, go check those guys out. Next one is some Blackened Funeral Doom from America. This band I was aware of for a little while. And then again, another Amazon price drop. Oh, no, I bought this one from Discogs, sorry. From a seller in Discogs. This actually was sold to me by the keyboard player for Winter Philip, the black metal band, if you know them. He has his own Discogs page. I can't talk. And he sells records at a really cheap price, so I picked this up. This is Lycus with their album Chasms. Came out in 2016 via Relapse Records and is funeral blackened doom metal. It's so good. Very landscape sounding, like the soundscapes are massive and it builds this massive picture. And the album Chasms kind of gives you what they were going for. It does sound like that, and the noise they create with the harmonies and the drawn out effects to kind of extend the notes. Just a really good band. It's nothing fancy, black wax, but the cover is really cool, and they have an album after this one that I want to get as well. They're just a really solid, it's like very chilled out, blackened doom metal. It's just very easy for me to get into this kind of stuff. I can put this on in the background and really take it in. So, well worth your time if you're into that kind of thing. I know a lot of people aren't into the funeral side of doom metal, and I can understand why. But for like a soundscape or anything in the background, it's well worth your time. So go check those guys out. Next one was a bit of a rare find for me. One I did never think I'd actually own on vinyl, and that is the album from Spectral Voice, Eroded Corridors of Unbeing. This came out in 2018 or around that period, and yeah, it's massive in the underground scene. So if you're not aware, this band is formed mostly of the death metal band Blood Incantation, who are also massive, but I think the drummer is, or maybe there's one of the members, I can't remember which one, I think it's the drummer who does the vocals for this, who is the only member who's not in Blood Incantation. This is really good Death Doom. So I think what it was is Blood Incantation liked Death Doom as well, and they kind of wanted to do a Death Doom band under a different name, so they did this. And it's fucking awesome. I can't tell you how good this is. It's solid. The LP is actually in I can't actually get to the record without pulling it apart and look like an idiot on camera, so I won't bother, but it's just black wax. But I was so happy to find this on a UK seller in Discogs. Just kind of, it came up and I just bought it there and then, because I thought I'd never ever see this unless I paid shipping from America. So I'm very happy to have this. Most people who like Death Doom will know what this is, because it's very popular. But yeah, Spectral Voice. Next one is some Finnish Funeral Doom. This is their 2018 album, I believe. Last year's album they put out was in my top 5, and that is Convocation with, if I can remember the album title, Scars Across. Now, I first heard this when it came out on streaming services. I listened to this when it very first came out because there was a lot of hype behind it. And it's an amazing band. It's a 2-piece from Finland, and they create this massive wall of noise. It's just insane how good they are for a 2-piece. There's different vocal styles they use. It even sounds like female vocals at one point, but he's just singing at a really high-pitched, tone or note. And the keys on it, the guitar riffs are really heavy. It's just a fantastic band. And this album is amazing. And put out through Everlasting Spew, who are an Italian record label. And I was lucky enough that Aesthetic Death here in the UK must have done a trade with that label, because they had a load from Everlasting Spew, and there's a few more I need to pick up. But this, I was well happy to get this, because I've been after this for years. But again, don't want to pay the shipping, because sometimes the shipping can just ruin a deal, especially with LPs. Tapes you can get away with, and CDs, but when you're trying to buy records abroad, it just bumps the price up. So I was really happy to get this for a very sensible price for actually how much it's worth. And I fucking love it. So that's Convocation. And the last one on my list came out last year, another 2020 I never picked up. This came out through Century Media and is a Dutch blackened doom band, and that is Soulburn, or Soulborn, sorry. I don't know how you want to say it. Soulburn, we'll go with Soulburn, that's probably right. and this is Noah's Dark. Came out, like I say, last year, and features members from Graceless, Legions of Dead, Asphyx, or former members from Asphyx, Grand Supreme Blood Court, that kind of thing. All those kind of well-known Dutch death metal bands, but doing a Blackened Doom project. So it's got the main guy from Graceless. It's got a guitar player called Eric. I can't remember his surname, but he was in Grand Supreme Blood Court. He wrote most of the riffs for the Rack for Asphyx, as well as Last One on Earth. He wrote the riffs for that. It's even got Van Drunen doing guest vocals on one of the tracks. I think it's on track 7, Triumphant one, on the dark side, on the B side. Yeah, it's just really good Black and Doom. If you like kind of, it's hard to describe because they also remind me a little bit of Dark Throne in some parts of this. It's not super scooped heavy, it's very dialed down a bit. It's not as intense as what I say Black and Doom metal would normally sound like to me. They kind of sound more like a Dark Throne approach on this album than anything else to me. But go check out, I'll leave a link below so you can check out for yourself and see what you think. But it's just, I wanted this purely for just the musicians involved. It's on black wax. Nothing fancy. The stickers aren't even that fancy either. But the inlay will show you a picture who's actually in the band. Or there was, no? No, I'm talking out my arse. There was literally no pictures of the band in there at all. I must have seen that off a website. That's the inlay there. With lyrics. But, who's it got? So Eric Daniels. He's a guitar player who's done loads. Twan Van Giel. And he plays vocal and bass, but he's endorsed. He doesn't have an endorsement. It just says there, plays whatever the fuck he wants. I don't know if you'll be able to pick that up there. I thought that was quite funny. So yeah, Soulburn. Go check them out. It's a very unique album. It sounds like nothing else I have in my collection. I actually really enjoyed that. So I'll be giving that probably another spin later on tonight. So anyway, that's my vinyl update. I hope you enjoyed that. Nice mix of death, doom and black. You know, there's all sorts of kind of things going on in this update. And I hope you really enjoyed it. So let me know below what you think of these albums, or anything I should check out if I've not mentioned before. You know, I'm all up for recommendations, as most people know. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already to my channel. You know, appreciate all the support I get from everyone who watches my videos. And yeah, next update is probably going to be a tape update because I've got a fair few tapes to show that are fucking awesome. So until then, take care guys. I'll speak to you soon. Cheers.